Hi everyone and welcome to this video. I'm going to be sharing my 30-day raw food challenge and some of the things that are involved in this raw food challenge, things you need to prepare, some recipes, how I'm feeling. I'm going to just be updating you how I'm feeling as I go along. Now this is my 11th day of being on the raw food challenge and already I'm feeling so much lighter. I have so much more energy and my breathing is better. Now I've had chronic asthma ever since I was 10 and I've struggled with my breathing and being on medications and things like that that kind of spurred me on to look for answers to healing my body. So I've known about the raw food diet for over a decade actually, and I first knew about it from the book Fit for Life, Not Fat for Life. I read about it from that book, Harvey Diamond, and he explains of how he went on to raw food and the benefits that he found that worked for him. I've also looked at examples of long-time raw fooders who have really succeeded on this diet. And that inspired me to incorporate raw food into my already plant-based diet. Now, it actually took me quite a while to be able to stick to raw food because I was, eating a lot of, cooked and processed foods, and it was difficult for me to just jump into raw food exclusively. So I did that over time, and now I'm up to the point where I can stick to certain periods of time where I'm on full raw food, and I've chosen to go on my second one, which I'm currently doing now. And I was actually I had a cold and flu, some type of virus, about a week ago, and that kind of motivated me to start another challenge. Also being a bit cooler here in Queensland. Also the breathing kind of gets a little bit worse during this time, and I have trouble sleeping at night because of it. So I also wanted to go onto this diet to help me with that as well. So yeah, I found that being on this diet so far, this is the 11th day, it's given me a whole lot more energy, which enables me to do more exercise as well, being more fit and active, which is great. I love doing yoga, trampolining. I also do qigong as well in the morning and at night to balance out my energies. So there's a lot of things there, and without energy it's difficult to do certain activities during the day, especially when they involve fitness. So I wanted to show you guys a few of the things that I eat on this diet. Now you can keep it really simple. Like for breakfast today, I just had some grapes. So I had water, so I hydrate in the morning with water, and then I just have grapes, and I have a whole bowl of grapes, and I find I get really full on raw food. So one bowl of grapes will be good for about maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I won't want to eat anything. So raw food can actually be quite filling, even though it doesn't seem that way. So that's what I do. So in the morning I have a very simple, either a bowl of grapes or I just juice an orange or two. And I make sure with the oranges, I love to keep the pulp in with the juice because it's better for digestion because you've got all the fiber within that. And it also helps to regulate the blood sugar levels as well when you keep the fiber with the fruit. So yeah, in the morning I just have either a bowl of grapes, keep it really simple, or I just have a couple of oranges that I juice, and I do keep the pulp with it because I find that it's better for regulating blood sugar levels, and it's also better for fiber content as well. So it's just so easy, all these things, and I find them delicious. I wake up in the morning and I crave fruit, so I don't find it difficult at all. So if there's one thing I do miss about eating a carnivore diet is fish, and I love that. I love smoked salmon, to be honest. So eating plant-based is great for heart health. It's great for your cardiovascular system. So as I've discovered through my research, especially through the China study, Colin T. Campbell, he did a study over a 20-year span, and he concluded that eating a plant-based diet can actually either reverse disease, and protect you from, risk of heart disease and stroke especially. So it was just really such an eye-opener, because we're taught to believe that we have to eat meat, for protein and for calcium. Now, if you guys want to see more about the benefits of raw food and also the cons to raw food, I'm going to make another couple videos for you to watch. There, videos that I've researched and put together. So hopefully you can get something out of that and learn more as to why I chose to go plant-based. So if you're planning to jump into a raw food diet and you're coming from a diet of processed foods, of eating, refined sugars and carbohydrates, and you've never been on a detox before, I would suggest that you start off slow and incorporate raw food bit by bit into your diet. So if this is the case, I wouldn't jump into raw food straight away. And what I would do is I would gradually detox your body and incorporate things like colonics and also liver cleansers to help detoxify your system bit by bit. I wouldn't recommend jumping straight into raw food because of the Herxheimer reaction or the fast detox. You might feel sick and it might be too fast. So I would suggest, like I've done over time, is just to incorporate raw foods bit by bit into your diet. Maybe just have one raw food meal per day and see how you go with that. Or even just incorporate some juices bit by bit. So if you want to go on a raw food challenge and you feel like you are ready for it, there's a few things that you need to prepare before you begin. Now, one of them is obviously your produce. So before you start, you have to have enough produce to fulfill a certain time frame that you choose to do your raw. You also want to be looking at recipes that you're going to enjoy and stick to them and do them, have them as go-to recipes throughout your raw food challenge or the period you're doing raw food, because you don't want to be struggling to find something to eat that you enjoy, and you want to feel satisfied as well. So pre-planning is required. Now, it's best to buy organic produce whilst you're doing raw food. Obviously, you don't want pesticides. But if you can't quite, fulfill that, if you can't get organic produce 100%, there are ways that you can at least reduce the amount of pesticides on food. I believe leafy greens will be probably one of the worst culprits for pesticides. So if you can't get 100% organic produce, what you can do is you can thoroughly wash your produce with either colloidal silver. You can use an ozone machine. So there are ways of reducing the pesticides on the produce if you can't do 100%. Organic. Now, you're going to need some basic equipment in the kitchen. You're going to need a blender like this one. This one's a great blender that I've had for quite a few years. It's an Optimum. You can get this in Australia, and it'll set you back about $300, $400, something like that. But it's fantastic because you can make ice creams out of it, like banana ice creams, which I use this a lot to make that. Also nut butters and things like that. It's quite a good machine, but I still, at the same time, I don't like using it too much for heavy stuff because the base here can weaken after time. But the great thing about this company that I deal with is that I have a 3-year warranty and they'll send me spare parts when they break down. So guys, if it's not a high powered blender, it's okay. Even if you have just a standard blender, you can still make smoothies out of it. Also, ideally, you want a slow juicer. Now, I did have a few slow juicers. I had an Oscar, but it did break down. I had that for years and years. So as a substitute, I actually bought a fast juicer. The only problem with fast juicers is that it can destroy some of the enzymes in the food because of its speed. It's like it's heating it up and it's cooking it a little bit. You could also make juices out of your blender. So if you don't have a separate juicer, you could use this. And all you need to do is you need to blend the produce and then strain it in a nut milk bag. So I sometimes do that because I find that it helps with minimizing washing up. So the next thing you're going to need is a spiralizer, which actually I will show you that later, and I might make some raw spaghetti. So you're going to need a spiralizer to spiralize the zucchini and the carrots. So they're the main kitchen equipment that you are going to need. All right guys, so that about sums it for a second, but I will later on I will do a banana ice cream demonstration for you. It's super easy to make banana ice cream, especially with a high-powered blender. All you need is frozen bananas pretty much, and then you can put any topping you like on it, and I find it delicious. I don't follow a strict 100% diet in a sense that I still have xylitol because I take that to protect my teeth with the acidity and the sugars from the fruits especially. So I think it's too important to protect your teeth whilst you're on this diet. Hi guys, I'm back again, and we are going to make some banana ice cream. I'm using my Optimum blender here to make it. So I've just got my frozen bananas in here, and this is like one of the easiest recipes to make, and I love it. I love banana ice cream. It's really, really delicious. So we're just going to put a few bananas into our blender. Nice frozen bananas. And because I'm on raw at the moment, I'm not going to add any soy milk. Normally I would add a little. So that's that. And then I'm just going to add just a little bit of water just to make it blend a little easier and to take the pressure off the blender as well. Just like this. And now it's just a case of blending. If I turn it on. Okay, here we go. Now let's blend. Alright, so when it starts to blend in a nice pattern in the middle there and all the fruit's gone through, you know it's ready. So just take the lid off. You can see it there. Okay, delicious. It smells so good, and it's so easy and delicious on a raw food diet. So I'm just going to take it out now. You can see, super good. Actually, my daughter loves this. She absolutely loves banana ice cream. So whenever I make it, she always asks if she can have some. So there we go. It's so good. And then what I love to do is I love to add some sunflower seeds on top here. Just a sprinkle of sunflower seeds. Oh, it is so good. Okay, here we go. And that's that. Banana ice cream, 100% raw and delicious. Really good. Hi everyone. Today is day 13 of my 30-day raw food challenge, and I can update you and tell you that I am feeling wonderful and my breathing has definitely improved. I went on the trampoline this morning outside on our 12-footer, and I normally just do laps on the trampoline, and I just felt fantastic. So normally when I'm on my trampoline outside and I do my 50 laps on the trampoline, I normally feel out of breath and I'm normally keeling over like this, trying to catch my breath, but it did not happen today or yesterday. So there you go. It's really working for me, and I'm feeling really great. I'm feeling like I've got a lot more energy, and it's a world of difference, really. So yeah, I just can't wait to see what happens, you know, by the end of this 30-day challenge and how much better I'm going to feel. I'm sure I will feel a lot better. So today I'm going to show you how I make my raw almond milk, and it's so easy to make. It's a very easy recipe. All you need is natural almonds that have been soaked overnight. So in the morning, after they've been soaked, you just take the peels off, but you don't have to. If you're short on time, you can just leave the skins on. I've chosen to spend time and just to take the skins off. They come off easily with your fingers when you rub the almonds, they come off. So here we go. So all you do is you pop it in your blender. So there's your almonds. There's one there. And then you want to add about 5 cups of water. Now this one, at the moment, my jug only holds 4, but I'm going to add a little bit extra here from my water jug. There's another. Okay, so here we go, 5 cups of water. So you get a substantial amount of milk. Okay, and there we go. We just put it on. I'll start on low. Okay, so you want to blend it up until most of the pieces have been, crushed up pretty well, blended up. So you want to blend it up just enough so it crushes up the almonds as much as possible. And then you just want to pour it in a nut milk bag. Like so. There we go. Will it fit in my jug? It's quite a fair bit. Just put all of it in. Whoa, here we go. Okay. So now we want to lift up that nut milk bag and strain the pulp. Squeeze it out slowly. There we go. You can see it's really nice and creamy. Whoops! I just spilt some on the table, but that's okay. Keep squeezing. It's actually quite foaming. It's foaming. There we go. Oh, it looks delicious though. I better get a sponge. So you can see you do get a lot of pulp remaining, and you want to keep that for other recipes like dehydrated crackers and things like that. It's perfect for that, so you want to save that. And keep squeezing, most of it's out. See how creamy and delicious this is. Here we go. So that's the pulp. Okay guys, so I've cleaned up the area. So here we go. Now let's pour in this delicious almond milk. Look how creamy and delicious that is. Cheers. It's really nice. It's got this nutty taste to it. What it could do with is a little bit of salt and probably a date added in there as well, just to liven up the flavour a little bit. But just plain on its own is really delicious. So nice. I mean, you could add this to banana ice cream and to make it creamier. So it's really good. Yeah, so this lasts about 5 days in the fridge. So you want to keep it nice and fresh in the fridge. And yeah, it's really good. Nice and creamy. Really, really easy to make. And like I said, the pulp you can use in dehydrated crackers and other things as well. So it's never, gone to waste. So that's good. So far, I'm feeling my moods have lifted. Sometimes I'm prone to, getting a bit depressed or stressed by life and life circumstances sometimes. But on this diet, you just feel like you're more in charge of your emotions and you're more centered. When you, make that plan and you're dedicated and you're motivated enough to do that, it makes you feel like you can pretty much stick to anything. Because I think that's really important, is to be able to stick to something and to complete it. And I think that's a big key to success in life. I made a firm decision and I was stuck to it, and I'm reaping the benefits of it now. So it tastes so much different from the store-bought almond milks because they add all sorts of stuff in there. It changes the taste a lot. Now this is pure and natural. That's what I love about it. There's nothing added in it, and it's just back to basics. It's great. All right guys, so that's pretty much sums up today and my updates on how I'm feeling. I will update you more in days to come, and I'll show you some more recipes as well. Some really easy recipes that you can implement if you're planning to go raw food. All right guys, so I'm gonna say bye for today, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next few days. Good morning everyone. Today is my 16th day on raw food, and here we are. It's a winter's morning here in Queensland, and I normally do my trampolining, which you can see in the background, as part of my daily exercise routine. Normally I have exercise-induced asthma, which makes it difficult to do exercise, but since I've been on raw food, I've been feeling a lot better, and my breathing has improved so much. Last night I barely needed any medication for my breathing, and I don't think I've ever achieved that on eating cooked food. So it's just fantastic. I feel more energetic. So I noticed yesterday that because of my increased amount of energy, I was able to do so much more. It's normally grocery day, so we get our groceries ordered online, and it takes quite a fair bit of time for me to put the groceries away. But I found that I got everything done that I needed to before the groceries arrived later in the evening. So the increased amount of energy has enabled me to do so much more during the day, and I was not able to do that on cooked food. I just felt too lethargic and I struggled to get through the day. So you can see on day 16 that I have been just improving in so many ways, and it's so worth it. So another thing I wanted to mention was the reason why I do trampolining is based on my research with Stephen West, who I think his father studied the rebounder and lymphosizing, and how that the lymphosizer is so beneficial for the lymph system to release toxins, and it's a very unique exercise. Yeah, so my recovery time is a lot faster compared to normal. I'm also feeling a lot more optimistic, and I feel like I'm more in control of my emotions, and I'm not letting things get me down so much. That's another thing that I'm finding. I'm also finding that I have increased motivation and a passion to succeed. I already had this attitude beforehand, but it's just really increased now that I'm eating more food and sticking to my 30-day challenge. I feel like winning's a lot easier, and that success can happen a lot easier. So it's also a spiritual improvement as well, spiritual, emotional improvement. And I don't feel like I'm bogged down by negative thoughts so much, or negative feelings. So that's great too. It's making me feel like I want to stay on this diet longer than 30 days because of the benefits that I'm getting out of it. And when I was on cooked food, I was struggling a lot more in my breathing, but I'm finding that now that I'm eating raw food, when I get like an asthma trigger and I've got like all the mucus build up and everything, it kind of feels like it wants to expel itself. So I feel like the lymph system's really moving all of those, all of the trapped mucus and everything out of my system a lot easier. So that's really cool. Anyway, so yes, I did go on the trampoline earlier and I did do a few laps. I'll just demonstrate to you a few of the laps that I do on cam, so just bear with me. So yeah, I just run around and do laps, and This type of exercise is so healthy for you. I also encourage the kids to do trampolining every day as well for their lymph system. So yeah guys, so I do 50 of those, but I won't do it again because I've already done it. And that's pretty much it. You could also buy a mini rebounder, and actually the mini rebounders are meant to be a bit better than the larger trampolines, but I've bought so many mini rebounders over the years, and they've always broken either, you know, the mat's broken, like the stitching's come apart, or the springs have broken. So like I've had like 5 mini trampolines that have broken over the years. And I also bought an expensive one, a $300 one, and the same thing happened. It only lasts a couple years and then they just break down. And it's kind of difficult finding a replacement mat for it. So really they are disposable, the mini rebounders. So that's why I'm not using one at the moment because the one that I had broke, but I'm using the big one now, and I think it does a good job as well. So later on I might show you my dinner recipe using zucchini noodles. So stick around for that. But for now, I'll see you later. Good morning, everyone. Today is my 18th day on raw food. It's a beautiful winter's day here in sunny Queensland. It has been quite chilly this morning, but now it's starting to warm up a little bit. So how have I been going? You will feel so much more energetic, and I'm getting so many more things done throughout the day. There have been a few downsides, like yesterday I had a bit of a sickly stomach and I really felt like something warm. So I would have to say that being on this diet makes you miss the temperatures of the food. So normally I like to have soups, especially during the winter time because it's warming, but on this diet the food is going to be at room temperature, or it's going to be cold, a bit cooler, depending if you keep your produce in the fridge. I keep my fruits in the fridge. I keep, except for bananas obviously, and all my produce in the fridge. So it's a good idea to plan ahead and take the produce out of the fridge for about an hour before you're going to make your meal, because you don't want it to be cold, unless you're in summer of course, and then that's fine. So that's one of the downsides, is the food temperatures, especially if you're used to eating warming and nourishing foods. Now I haven't been 100% strict on this diet, and I don't think that you need to. I think 90 to 95% raw is good enough. Now the reason why I don't like to be perfect is because it allows you to include things like xylitol, and also if you are feeling like you need some kind of a warm food like a soup, a very thin soup like I had yesterday, then it's okay. So I don't think it should be like you're depriving yourself. You don't want that. You want it to be more that you are embracing this, you know, this way of eating. And if that includes a little bit of warm foods or a little bit of this, a little bit of that, then it's okay. And I don't see a problem with that. So you're still going to get the detox benefits out of it, especially if you're eating 95% raw. I make sure that to protect my teeth after I do have sugary fruits, like this morning I had an orange. It's very, very acidic. So what I do is I swivel water in my mouth and I swallow, or sometimes I spit it out, but you can just swivel water in your mouth to swallow it, and then take a little piece of xylitol afterwards, and that will protect your mouth. So guys, I'm here and I wanted to show you my grounding routine, which I do most days, you know, when I can get outside. When it's raining, obviously I can't do it too easily, but today is the perfect day. It's beautiful weather out here. So I wanted to introduce grounding to you guys, unless you've already heard it. And this will benefit you in a lot of ways as well. I've got a book on grounding that specifically talks about it. So basically grounding is just having your bare feet on the ground outside. But I heard somewhere, and I have to chase that up, the reference, that being on grass is not a good idea. Something about pulling electrons from your system. So what you want to be doing is you want to have your bare feet on dirt or soil, and that's the best way to go about it. Grounding will balance out your system so your body's not so positively charged. Now, when it's balanced, your body, if our body is not balanced electrically, it can cause health problems. So with grounding, certain electrons flow from the earth into your body. Now, the earth has a negative electrical charge, and this is what you want to bring into your body to balance out your system. In this day and age with our electrical smog, EMF, being in buildings, we don't get the chance to balance out our electrical system. So grounding gives you this opportunity. So yeah, guys, you only need to do about 10 minutes a day. So grounding is said to give you better sleep, also neutralize EMFs, and also reduce inflammation in the body. So you want to be doing this regularly. Probably about 10 minutes a day is sufficient. Oh, it's so beautiful out here. The sun's so warming. It's lovely to get sun on your skin. Now guys, if you are on raw food, remember that getting sunlight on your skin is essential for vitamin D production in your body. And you want to be getting about 10 to 15 minutes per day of sunlight, you know, during midday when it's the strongest, but you don't want to overdo it, obviously. So make sure you get that as well. I know it's not always possible, especially on the cloudy days or if it's raining, but on the days where it's sunny, get out there and make sure you get your vitamin D. So vitamin D and vitamin K are needed for healthy and strong bones. And I attribute this to having a strong mouth and teeth. So it's not just what goes on the outside of your teeth that you have to protect your mouth from. It is also the nutrition that you get on the inside. So you want to make sure that you get this vitamin D. I believe vitamin D can also be found in mushrooms. So you want to be incorporating that into your raw diet also. And you want to make sure that you get vitamin K as well. Now I believe vitamin K is found in sprouts. So you want to get sprouts into your diet. And other foods containing vitamin K, as well as getting your daily sunshine. So one of the things I also wanted to mention was that my allergies have improved out of sight. Now normally I have allergies to dust, especially dust, grass, pollen, those sorts of things. Now on this diet, I have found that I've barely had any triggers. Now my triggers would involve sneezing, like 3 or 4 times in a row, just trigger, sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. I have not had that for a good month. So it's just fantastic in that way as well. Just wanted to mention that, you know, and this goes along with my improved breathing as well. All right guys, so that about sums it up for this morning. So later on today, I'm going to show you my completely raw noodles from avocados, zucchini, salt, basil. Only takes a few ingredients, but it's really nice. I'll show you how to make that later. For now, I'm going to say bye. And I'll see you later on. Okay guys, so we're gonna make raw veggie pasta. It's a really easy recipe. So you start with your zucchini and you give it a thorough wash, especially if it's not organic. And you basically just cut it and spiralize it. So this is a spiralizer that I have that I bought. But you can also use a standard peeler and also make pasta from that, but I like to spiralize it. So just go ahead and spiralize the zucchini. Now I find that one big zucchini like this is plenty for one meal. I actually find that I get pretty full on raw food, and I think that you can't push it beyond that. Like I know that you need to get enough calories in a day, but if you're full, you're full. You just can't eat any more. So, here we go. bit messy. Actually, what's probably a better idea is if you get this little remainder, I'm just going to feed that to my guinea pigs. Or you could also keep it and put it in your sauce. Sometimes I do that as well. There we go, it doesn't take long to spiralise. I do this with carrots, but you need to push a lot harder on the spiralizer here to get it to spiralise, because it's a lot harder vegetable. But the zucchinis are easy to spiralise. So after you've spiralised it, now what you want to do is you want to sprinkle it with salt, right, and let it sit for about 20 minutes. And what that's going to do is it's going to soften the noodles and make it more palatable. Okay guys, so it's been 20 minutes. Now you can see that there's water that's come from the zucchini noodles, and you just want to drain that from the bowl. So I'm just going to do that and I'll be back. So guys, you can see that the noodles have shrunk down in size, so it doesn't look like there's much there. But that's okay, that's enough for me, for one person. Otherwise you just double the amount of zucchinis. So 2 large zucchinis, you'll get double that amount. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make the sauce. So we're just going to scoop out the avocado. So you want 1 avocado in your blender. Then what you want to do is you want to add a splash of lemon, just to give it that acidity. And you also want to give it a little bit of water just so it can blend easier. Especially if you've got a bigger blender like mine, you're just going to have to add a little bit more water so it'll blend properly. Okay, I'm actually going to cut it up a little bit just to make it even easier to blend. Just like that. And what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of garlic. So I'm only going to add about half a small clove because it's quite strong, but it adds a lot of flavour. So I'm going to put that in there and then add some salt, about half a teaspoon. I'm just going to do that. My shaker. Okay, so we're going to start blending on low. Now I might have to add a little bit more water just to make it a really smooth dressing. So it's really nice and smooth now. Pretty much like guacamole. Okay. So there you go guys. I've just added some fresh basil from the garden and just mix that in. And there you go. There's your raw vegan spaghetti with avocado sauce. It's delicious, it's easy to make, and you can add it on your list of favourite recipes, your favourite go-to recipes when you're on raw food. Hello everyone, I'm here in my acreage and I'm just chilling out the back here. It's nice and private and I have the beautiful dam behind me, and I thought I'd bring along my young coconut here, which I'm taking a sip of. These are so delicious. So the best way to open a coconut, I have found, is to first drill a hole. If you have a pedestal drill, it's best. If not, you could even just use a hand drill. And then to use a hacksaw just to chop off the top so you can get to the meat. So that's how I do it. And they're delicious, they're full of electrolytes, they're sweet, they're just Yum. There has been some challenging times, especially because we're in winter here at the moment. There are times when I have wanted to have some, warm foods. So I struggle with the temperatures of foods, especially when it's cold. Because I cook for the family, I also get tempted with the meals that I make. So I love spaghetti and I love bread. So I love carbs. Yeah, it kind of makes it hard with the aroma of the food and when you have to taste test, so you kind of got to hold yourself back a little bit. So if you're doing this just for yourself, it's a lot easier because you don't have to deal with cooked food. For temptation. So that's one of the hard parts of it. And one of the main things that has improved is my breathing. As I told you before, I have struggled breathing, especially in the winter time when I wake up during the night. It is quite a struggle. So I have had a lot more clarity of mind and increased positive moods as well. I've found that, I can do exercise without getting triggered by asthma. Allergies like dust allergies, grass allergies don't affect me as much. I think it's very important to also meditate during the day if you have time, just to sit back, be by yourself, find a comfortable place where you can just breathe deeply, gather your thoughts and start to focus your mind on what it is that you want in life, because as we know, it's been proven time and time again, our thoughts and our emotions actually create reality and it crystallizes into the material form. So you want to be able to take control of your thoughts and your feelings and focus more on the positive things in life, and to also appreciate what you have in life, appreciate the people around you and the things that you have. And the more that you do this, the more the good things in your life will start to expand and grow, and you'll find more and more good things to appreciate. So I think that's also, it's a spiritual journey, this raw food challenge, as well as the diet side of things. It's also a spiritual journey. Today is the 31st day of this challenge, and it's actually gone past. I ran out of produce, fresh produce, a couple of days ago, so I actually had to start eating about 30% cooked because I just ran out. Part of that reason is because we have gorgeous guinea pigs. We've got 6 guinea pigs, which I give plenty of carrots to. Going on raw food was the best thing I could have done for myself because it helped me by reducing my asthma and my allergies. It helped to uplift my mood and give me more energy that I didn't have before. And I felt so good throughout it that I actually want to keep doing it and incorporate raw foods as a permanent thing into my diet a lot more than what I used to. I can really tell the difference between energy levels when I eat a bowl of pasta or a bowl of rice, for example. I have this heavy, tired feeling compared to eating a salad. This challenge was so worth it, and I learnt so much through it. So one of the things that I was struggling with that I mentioned the other day was the temperature of foods. But I have found a solution. So you pop it in the dehydrator for even 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, or my air fryer, which goes to a low temperature, and it works really well. So you can even do that with soups. I did it with a salad, and I would recommend it if you have difficulty with temperatures of the food and also the climate being cold. So one of the things you want to be doing is you want to be incorporating a lot of juices into your diet, especially vegetable juices, because a lot of the leafy greens, if you can get wheatgrass juice, go for it. It's just so good for you. But a lot of the leafy greens like kale, spinach and that, you really want to incorporate that into your diet. There's so many nutrients and minerals in those foods, so you really want to get that into you. If you struggle with blood sugar issues like diabetes, I would suggest to eat fruits that aren't so sweet to begin with. And if you do have sweet fruits like mangoes and bananas, I would eat them in whole form, especially if the fruit is sweet. If you are going on this raw food to cleanse your system and to detox, I would suggest to Well, I pretty much would suggest this for everyone, to do colonics at home. And you can just buy very simple kits online with silicone that are made from silicone, and you just add a couple cups of water in there. You can even add some coffee. And do yourself a favour, cleanse out your bowels by doing home colonics. Another area of detoxing the body is the gallbladder and liver cleanse. Now, if you read Andreas Maritz's book, he talks about how the body can accumulate certain stones, and what you want to be doing is thinking about or implementing these cleanses. Now, I'll tell you, they're not exactly easy. I have done 5 of them. They can be quite draining and taxing as you do them. So my second raw food challenge was very rewarding for me, and it improved my breathing and my allergies out of sight. So I think that's why I'm going to keep, you know, the raw content in my diet as high as possible and still incorporate the juices, you know, the vegetable juices especially, and keep that going. So I think health is too important. This raw food challenge gave me so much more energy that I never knew that I had. Definitely raw food is really great and it's fantastic, and I think everyone should at least incorporate it into their diet. So you want to incorporate foods with your current diet and try to eat as healthy as possible, obviously. Stay away from processed foods and, you know, fried foods and things like that that aren't really good for you. I've always looked into health. It's been one of my passions to, you know, go back to what's natural and to look at what the body actually needs and provide it what it needs, from nutrition to minerals to vitamins to nutrients to the sun, to nature to electricity. There's so much that the body needs, and water as well. Drinking the correct water, that's really important too. And the properties of water, there's so much to water. So that about sums it up for this video. I hope that I inspired you. Have a great day, and I will see you in another video.